Incantation, Ritual, and Purity off the album Sect of Vile Divinities 2020. John McEntee, I love that guy too. You know what I like about John is like he really belts it out. He doesn't like, you know, the whisper monsters. He like belts it out, man. He's got style. I'm a big fan of belting it out. Maybe I'm a music snob, but all right. And of course, that was Possessed. One of ours called Dominion off of Revelations of Oblivion 2019. And Judas Priest, Dissident Aggressor. I played that again from last time after Sin album 1977. That scream, what is that, IB or C? Or man, it's insane. It sounds like a whistle. It's probably the best scream in metal. All right, let's keep going here on Gimme Metal. Thanks for joining in. 2000. What can I say about Motorhead? Motorhead is one of those bands that was so instrumental in me becoming me. I mean, they're one of those bands that were so exciting and new. It's like you felt like they really made a whole entire new genre, really. And I know it's just rock and roll sped up and heavier, but to me it just sounded completely different. Like it was a whole paradigm shift. You know, like the first time I saw Metallica, and you know, it just gave me the chills, man. It was great. And of course, Venom, black metal, another killer from 1982. And I always tripped off this. We played with Venom the first time in April. I think it was, oh God, I forget the year. But they had to know who we were. They came right back to England like the next month and titled their album Possessed. Coincidence? I think not. But I love those guys. First time I met Kronos, he was very rude to me. He was like, "Who let you in my fucking backstage?" And I was like, all hurt. So I was like, fuck these guys, let's blow away. And they came out so intoxicated. Me and Cliff Burton were smoking a joint up in the nosebleeds and going, what song is this? But it was Venom, and they were coming down to the Bay Area, and we didn't give a fuck. They were still fucking awesome. Last time I seen Kronos, he was sober as a judge and completely nice, shook my hand, and you know, I love the guy. You can't have Venom without Kronos. It's like a gun without bullets. And of course, Merciful Fate, the Mighty Melissa album from 1983. Let's keep going. This is Jeff Becerra from Possessed here at Gimme Metal. They're like doctors or professors now, at least one of them. And it's one of those bands I really wish didn't break up. Wagner was rumored to sing on Wiki it says that he was the original singer for Sepultura, but I'm not sure that's true. I think he was only on one part of one song that Max came in. But still kind of a cool little trivia thing. And of course, the Mighty Obituary from the Slowly We Rot 1989 album. Funny story is, just whenever I came out of the hospital after my injuries, I was coming off of like 5 hardcore months of morphine, and my manager Debbie sent me out to sing some backups on Obituary's first album, and I got out there and I was like partying really hard, and I think I scared them. They were like young kids, and they basically said, we don't want you to do it anymore. And so for years they used to say that, you know, when I got shot I went mentally insane. But then after college and being president of my class and making straight A's through get my bachelor's and all that, and you know, being a webmaster and all that, and having a couple kids, I emailed them and I said, hey man, I'm not crazy, man, I was just fucked up. And we've been thick as thieves ever since, man. I love those guys. And they were actually standing on the stage right at our Bloodstock show. And of course, the Mighty Exodus, A Lesson in Violence, Bonded by Blood 1985. Y'all know how I feel about Exodus. I love Gary Holt. Let's keep on going. This is Jeff Becerra from Possessed on Gimme Metal. It's a land of posers. But I remember Gary Holt was like, hey man, this band's coming down from LA. And he's like, I know LA, the land of poser, but Slayer, they're like the real deal. They got upside down crosses and spikes and pentagrams. I was like, oh, cool. And yeah, we ended up playing with them at either their first or second foray into the Bay Area, and it was awesome. We've had a long history with Slayer since we toured our first 2 albums together in the U.S. until the last year in Norway on their farewell tour, which is, man, I don't know why they're quitting, but whatever. Megadeth, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, Days a Hero, 1985. And Sepultura, What More Territory? That's off the Chaos AD, 1993. I love all things Max. Let's keep going. This is Jeff Becerra from Possessed on Gimme Metal. 1,000 units, which is crazy for death metal. And of course, Possessed, the Word, off of Revelations of Oblivion from last year. A lot of people don't know that I actually wrote every riff in that album, with the exception of one, I think, which I wrote but we restructured. And I wrote it between 80 and 81, so it's good to finally get that on wax. I'm lucky, nobody would listen to me. They were like, what's this shit? Until, luckily, I ran across Dan and Claudius and Emilio and Robert, who have been really, really just a dream come true to work with. And it was good to finally get that out there. And Cannibal Corpse renamed and Addicted to Vaginal Skin off the album Red Before Black 2017. What can I say? Christian Soul Devourer off the album Conquerors of Armageddon in 2000. Max and Moises, Alex. Man, Christian is just really got OSDM right. I love that band. They're one of my favorite. This is Jeff Becerra here on Gimme Metal. Thanks for joining. That were around when I first started, and independently we were really making history. These bands really made history, in my opinion. Voivod just pretty much rewrote the whole technical thing, and Destruction and Creator and Sodom. I remember Sodom, they started out like black metal, but they were always just really sick with Tom Angel Ripper. Of course, Creator's just sick. And Destruction, I've been friends with those guys forever. Of course, Blackie and Away and Piggy and Snake, they're just monumentally awesome guys. We hooked up for the first time when we went out to play the World War III festival in Canada, and it was just a really, really fun time. Love those guys. All right, this is Jeff Becerra from Possessed. You're listening to Gimme Metal.